Now, you got cats like Herc, right? Herc is not a scratcher. That's not, what he did. He wasn't really known for that. I mean, but Herc provides a spark. Neither is Bambaataa.
Right.
They wound up getting younger cats who were doing that. And those would be the cats who would play for them and do the scratching and all the turntable tricks. Bambaataa, for example, got Jazzy J.
Okay.
Herc had some other cats with the Herculoids and different people on him playing with him.
Right.
Flash, of course, was doing his own thing with the scratching and brought it to his own little art form and everything like that. But that's where the scratching all of a sudden, and after that, it wasn't even about the dancers anymore. It's more, we were always there. They were always there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the original ones, we had stopped doing that. But then it became the focus on the MCs and on the DJ. So now instead of people coming to the party to dance and shit like that, everybody gonna stand around, watch the DJ do all kinds of, Or the rappers, now they got MC crews, and now they got these little shows, they want to do these little skits and all this other stuff. And that's when I kind of lost, you know what I mean? Because it was always about the dancing and the music for me. And I don't want to stand around and watch some fool, I just don't. I like to dance. And so that's when it kind of changed for me. So it's always been around it, and I could always dance and do that. But, the focus became less and less about the dancers and more about the DJ and the MC as it went on and on, especially the MC, because now everybody and their mother wants a record deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Everybody, and it's commercial now. Everybody wants I made a record back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Cash Money by Cholly Rock and the Average People Band. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's online? I can find it?
Yeah.
Well, I can't pay the rent and I can't pay the phone. My credit's bad and I can't get a loan. I need some cash money. They cut off my lights and they cut off my gas. I can't even pay for a pizza. I need me some cash money.
And even the story of that. What got me that was Bambaataa. Okay, because the cat came out, I was in the T Connection, and like I told you, I used to MC for Bambaataa. I used to MC when band would play the disco for it. My voice was deeper, and I was more like a disco style MC, but I was hip hop.
Right.
And then I went away to college. I went away to New Paltz College.
When
I came back, the Soul Sonic Force, which had been maybe 3 people or 4 people, Mr. Biggs, Queen King used Pepsi, Cowboy, who was original. I took Cowboy's place because he went to the Nation of Islam, right? And I went away to college. I came back. There were about 12, 13 dudes and a girl, Lisa Lee, And next thing you know, it was like 1 million people. But I would still rap with band when he would play the disco music, and I would do my little disco thing, whatever, And then I got into other things. I started hustling. I was, doing my thing down at home, getting money and everything like that. And I just, branched off in a way, But I was always a Zulu, never, you get older, you just do different things.
Right.
That's all it is. But that's the thing. But like I said, after that, it just started becoming all the focus was on the MC. Everybody and their mother wants to make a record.
And then especially after Curtis Blow, right?
Yeah, especially after Curtis Blow, after, Sugar Hill Gang,
Right.
Everybody wants to make a record. And like I said, when I made this, Bam had come to this white guy named Billy Mercy, who did a lot of disco music kind of stuff. And so they come to me, and Bam says, yo, Cholly Rock, they're looking for an MC, but they want somebody who has a deeper, more like disco style, not, yes, y'all, to the beat, y'all, more, that's, and he said, would you do it? I said, sure. So I went to the studio, and I met the guy, Billy Mercy, and a woman named Rose McCoy. They wrote the music for this, and they said, this is the lyrics and everything like that. So it was already written out, you know what I mean? So they just wanted me to be the voice of it. And so I did that, and I said, this is kind of boring. So I added some ad-libs into it, to the breaks, and I wanted him to add a break. I said, there's no break in here. He said, well, we can't do the music over again, we need more guitar. And so, and so that's what became Cash Money. And by Cholly Rock and the Average People Band.
Cash Money, what year was that?
1981.
81,
yeah,
Cash Money, wow.
But it was 1981. And originally, when it was originally recorded, I was recording in Polydor Studios. But the people who wound up picking up the distribution for it were some Italian dudes from Detroit. At the time, I didn't know, but they were from 8 Mile. So, basically now in the history of recording hip-hop, it's considered one of the earliest forms of recording hip-hop that come out of 8 Mile with 7 Heaven. You know what I mean? So, that's its claim to fame, and I'm the voice on it. And I hate the record because, I wanted more creative input into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's my record, and I'm the voice on it, and that's what it is.
Right.
So, hey, we all have our role, right?
Keys in my hands don't fit my pad. Been dispossessed and I'm doing bad. I need me some cash money. Out in the streets, the times are tough. Grab me a cup, play blind man's bluff. I need me some cash money.